Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. Um, yeah, hope you're having a great day as well. Um, yeah, I'm gonna read something that really, point out that really like went out to my heart. This is one of my favorite the scriptures in the Bible. Like it basically gets me through the day. Um, I'll be reading from my Bible app, as you can see. Every Christian has it, or should have it at least. Um, but anyway, I'm going to read from the book of Psalms, chapter 23, verse 4. Yea, though I walk through the valley of death, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. They rod and they staff, they comfort me. Let me just pray for you guys, pray with you guys right quick. If you can please bow your heads with me. Dear God, thank you for giving us opportunity, Lord God. Actually, to bless everybody who watches this video, Lord God. Just give me the right words to say, Lord God. Just bless everybody who watches this video so it could be a better person, be better following your Lord God. Just let me pray. Amen. Now, let me just read that verse again. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Now, when David said this, he was about to defeat, he was about to go up against a giant named Goliath. He was about to go up against a big giant. Now this message is called fearing for no reason. Fearing for no reason. Now, David said this just as he was about to go up against a giant named Goliath. Now, when David said this, he was young. He had to have been in his teens. And Goliath, he was a giant. He wasn't no 6 foot giant. He was it said that he was about 9 feet and a few inches. He was big. He was tall. And you see, he said this just as he was about to defeat him. Now, if anybody, now he was the only one who decided to go up against Goliath because he was the only one who decided to go up against him. Mind you, Saul was king. David was appointed king. David was appointed king before then, but Saul was still in charge. So David was only a little soldier. But this would prove how strong David was. And he said this, yet though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. When you, if God is with you, who can be against you? Because even though Goliath maybe 9'6", maybe 9'6", maybe 1,000 pounds, God is bigger than all of that combined. God is bigger than all the giants combined. So if you have a fear against against something or against a traumatic event that might have happened here and then, why are you fearing? Because God is in charge. God is still in charge. Hmm. Now, we still see people fear, maybe, maybe post maybe if they see a traumatic event on the news, they may fear to go somewhere. Or maybe if they see a hurricane coming, they may fear to they may fear to they might want to leave their town just so they can get away from the storm's path. But don't you know? See, people fear about many things. We have fears, and they call, which is called phobias. Hmm. They we call a certain amount, certain fear, a phobia. Like person may be afraid of spiders, person may be afraid of snakes, person may be afraid of going up, person may be afraid of any of that. But fear, but who do you have to fear? When God controls everything, why are you worrying about the little stuff? Because if God is with you, who could be against you? Who If God is with you and for you, who could be against you? Yeah, the devil may be against you, but God is still in charge. God is still the person. God is still the one in charge. Now, now. If you read on if you read on to the Bible, see when David said this, he was young. When David said this, he was quite young. Now, when David became king, we have to remind you guys that sent his that he when he was king, he sent his his friend, a soldier, to go out in the army, to go out on a to go out to bust some army because he knew that he was going to get killed just so he can get with his girl. People would kill certain folks just to get with somebody. He said, and when and so you're telling me that that when David did that, he did not fear what was going to happen because he thought he was in charge of everything. He thought he was right about everything. But once he committed that sin, called adultery, his called adultery. Yet his first son was born, but his first son died. Even though, so you're telling me that the younger David was wiser than the older David. And you see, I see that, and you see that this really spoke out to me because when you are younger, when you're younger, the only biggest fear you really had was either a bully on the block or a monster under your bed. We were all kids once. Stop lying. That was our biggest fear, but we tend to go out of it. But we tend to grow out of that fear. That was one of our biggest fears. But out of that, it would not distort us all. It would not destroy our own day. It would not destroy our own living. We would still go. We would still go out and be happy. We would still go out and be happy little kids playing with toys and stuff. So you're telling me that. So you're telling me that he was much wiser then than he was when he was king. People might be watching this saying, "Where you going with this, Eric? Where you going with this?" What I'm saying is, we need to start paying attention. We need to start paying attention more. We need to start feeling less. We need to start paying attention to God more, because once you start paying attention to God, God will never God will never ever just leave by your side. So so when if David would have known that God was still watching him, despite everything that God gave David, if he did not forget how David got to be king in the first place, he would not have committed that sin. Now he would not have committed that sin. Now, now we tend to fear. Now, now. Slow some train of thought. Wow. Slow some train of thought that quickly. But anyway, a famous comedian once said, a famous comedian once said, "Don't you know, or don't you know that God and fear don't occupy the same space? Don't you know?" This was not said by me, because this was said by a famous comedian with the name Dick Gregory. He said, "Don't you know that fear and God do not occupy the same space? Don't you know that fear and God do not occupy the same space?" So even in so I know finals are around the I know this is the end of might be at the end of school year for whoever's watching, for whoever's paying attention. So this may be the end of the year, and you might be fearing that you might be failing a class. You might be fearing that you might be failing a class, failing the regents, failing the final test or whatever. But I'm telling you this: you cannot fear. Just pray to God. Just pray to God, and God will lead you down the right path. Now, people might be saying, might be asking, like, what if I do fail? What if I do fail? That means God has let me wrong. No, well, I'm telling you this: if I'm telling you this, is God still able? Did God still wake you? Did God still wake you up this morning? Still did did God still wake you up this morning? Did He still bless you on His way? Did He still give you a path to go through? Is he still able? Is he still able to worship? Is he still a loving, caring God? Is he still a God that sent his only begotten Son to die on the cross and be resurrected the third day? Is he still able? So even though things might not go your way, God is still able to worship. Mm-hmm. Because things may be happening for a reason. And you never know which path God will lead you to. So what I'm saying is, as I wrap this up in the next 5 seconds, do not fear, because God will always be with you. Thank you, everybody.